So, with the release of Wonder Woman 1984 and me rewatching all the DC movies, or all the new DC movies over quarantine, I decided now would be a good time to rank all the DC Extended Universe movies from my least favorite to my favorite. Now, I like this franchise way less than I like Marvel. Marvel Cinematic Universe, or I'd say this is probably like a lot lower when it comes to my favorite movie franchises, maybe not even in the top 10. I still enjoy some of the movies here. After DC Fandom, I'm still pretty excited for the future of these movies. It's just, I don't really love the DCEU as a whole, but I'm still excited to do this ranking. I've had it planned out for a little while now. And let's just jump right into this. At number 9 is Suicide Squad, one of my least favorite movies ever made. I just don't like this. It's just the plot of like getting the squad together to go in like a town that's being taken over by like this enchantress witch lady, and they're fighting a bunch of weird, ugly-looking CGI bad guys, and it's really dark. And I didn't like the main plot. I thought the action was fun. Margot Robbie was great as Harley Quinn. I genuinely did kind of like Will Smith as Deadshot and his whole arc with his daughter. And then this movie had like, it was just a weird tonal mess. It feels like something that a studio cobbled together and just didn't really have any vision for it. Like someone tried to make Guardians of the Galaxy, but then the studio kind of jumped in and did what they want to make it more like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like someone did their own thing, and then the studio's like, no, we want Guardians, which I guess is kind of fitting considering they're doing the next Suicide Squad movie is being directed by director of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is funny. But anyway, there was like, I'd say there was like 10 different songs, like licensed songs, the first 20 minutes of the movie. The whole cast was weird, and they bring in all these characters, but not many of them are very likable. And of course, Jared Leto's Joker is just, ugh. I'm excited to see what they do with him in Suicide Squad, but, or not Suicide Squad, I'm excited to see what they do with him in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but until then, this movie stands as something that I have watched twice in my life. And if I ever watch it again, it's going to be years down the line, and only ever to do like a DC ranking, or if I'm doing a DC marathon. It's never a movie that I'm going to watch on its own accord, unlike probably other movies on this list. At a slightly bigger jump in quality is Justice League 2017. No, I don't dislike this, but I definitely have to put it further down on the list considering all the crap that happened behind the scenes, all the weird stuff, and Zack Snyder having to leave for personal tragedy reasons. And Joss Whedon and the studio kind of cobbling together a movie. It made a movie that tonally is consistent at times. You can really tell that when they were originally trying to make it, they had a different plan in mind, but then they kind of added in like, oh, let's add a red filter to the end, and let's make it a little more lighthearted, more jokey. And it just kind of loses a bit of its soul in the movie. This movie, aside from maybe Suicide Squad, is the movie on here that feels the most like it's a studio movie, not like a person's movie. And then I thought the whole cast did good. Ezra Miller did great. And I liked seeing all the different power sets. The visual effects, aside from the final battle, the visual effects were good. I like Danny Elfman's use of the Batman theme. I do really like Ben Affleck as Batman. But this movie, it just doesn't have a soul. And Zack Snyder's Justice League, I'm cautiously optimistic for it because as you'll see later in this list, I'm not the biggest fan of the Zack Snyder DC movies, sue me. I just don't enjoy them too much. I like them, but I don't love them. But I'm still constantly optimistic for Zack Snyder's Justice League because I love all the characters, and I'm excited to see a Justice League movie that doesn't feel like a bunch of executives got together in a room and clumped together some ideas to make it more like the Avengers. Taking in a pretty good leap in quality there. At number 7 on the list is Batman vs. Superman. I enjoy this movie, but and I've said it before, I don't really like dark superhero movies too much. I mean, sometimes they can really work for me. I really like Joker and Logan. The Dark Knight trilogy is definitely darker, and it's fantastic. But for this movie, it just doesn't really work for me. It feels too dark. Like, Batman's basically murdering guys. It has like weird flashback scenes that are kind of like hinting towards the future. Jesse Eisenberg, he makes a good kind of insane mad scientist villain, but I don't think that works when that insane mad scientist villain is supposed to be Lex Luthor. Like, I liked his performance. I did not like that his performance was supposed to be Lex Luthor. I mean, that was just... He's supposed to be kind of like, I don't know too much about Lex Luthor. I've only seen the original Superman movie a long time ago and then a couple of animated shows. But he's supposed to be kind of more like a businessman and not a mad scientist. So that was weird. But once again, I like Ben Affleck as Batman. He's kind of more experienced, and we see, like, he's already had a Robin. He's been Batman for 20 years, and he kind of make vague references to all these other Batman villains. And I like that. It's like, you don't have to build up to this Batman mythos. This Batman's already been here. He's already fought all these iconic characters, and now we get to see an experienced Batman fight Superman. Once again, Henry Cavill is he's pretty good as Superman, and I really like the introduction of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I thought her entrance in this movie was great, even if the final battle was a little weird, but I still think this is a good superhero movie, even if at times I don't like the dark tone too much, and Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor is really weird. At number 6 is Man of Steel. This is my last video to get a dislike, so I'm guessing some people did not like my opinion of Man of Steel, and me saying that it isn't fantastic. It's a good movie. It's just not a fantastic movie. I mean, Henry Cavill's great as Superman. Amy Adams is great as Lois Lane. I'm not the biggest fan of the darker tone, but it still is very hopeful at times, and I like that, especially when we see kind of Superman fly in his soaring scenes. It has a great score by Hans Zimmer, fantastic score. I just don't like Zod and his made plot very much of, let's just take Earth and we'll make it Krypton. I don't like that, didn't like that, and then, I also, the whole thing about Jonathan Kent, where at the beginning of the movie, he's basically telling Superman to not use his powers, but then later in the movie, as Superman's using his powers, he acts like Jonathan Kent was some kind of big inspiration, and that was kind of weird for me. But overall, I still thought this movie had great action sequences. The final battle was fun. Henry Cavill is good as Superman. It's just, once again, I don't think a Superman movie really benefits from a bit of a darker tone. But still, Henry Cavill, he's really great. At number 5, Wonder Woman 1984. I'll be going very spoiler light. I'll be going spoiler free. Just I'll be vaguely referring to things when talking about Wonder Woman. Basically, I know a lot of people did not like this movie, but I got some enjoyment out of it. It had a very messy plot. I just made a video about this yesterday, so I won't talk about it too much. But it had a very messy plot. It was shown in the trailers. The way they brought back Steve Trevor, it was weird that they brought him back for this, even if I did like his scenes. And then also, it was missing a big chunk of action from, like, the first 20 minutes to about over an hour in. There's no action scenes at all, basically. But overall, I liked the villain. Gal Gadot was good as Wonder Woman, as usual. It's just, it has a major issue with the plot. If you want to hear more of my thoughts, go watch my video from yesterday. But it's a fun movie, it just has some issues. At number 4, now we're getting to the DCEU movies that I really genuinely think are pretty good. With Birds of Prey, which is a movie where I haven't watched it since I watched it back in March, but I really remember enjoying it. Margot Robbie is absolutely fantastic as Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie's only played Harley Quinn in 2 movies at this point in time, and she's still already become pretty synonymous with the role. She does a fantastic job, brings a lot of energy to it, and I like how it introduced Black Canary, Renee Montoya, and the Huntress to the DCEU, and I thought they were pretty good in this movie. I loved Ewan McGregor's Black Mask. He was fantastic. I love how this movie is, like, it's R-rated, but still a lot of fun. It's kind of like DC's Deadpool, but I mean that in a very, very good way. But it doesn't try too hard to be a Deadpool movie. It's just, it has a fun plot of just kind of Harley Quinn and, her gang of other superheroines or kind of neutral people. And they're just trying to keep this fortune and this diamond from getting to Black Mask, and it's dark at times, but it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. But once again, Margot Robbie, great as Harley Quinn. Jumping up to number 3 in this list. My top 3 on this list are movies I genuinely really, really like. At number 3 is Aquaman. This movie is nuts, and it's bonkers, and it's cheesy, and I love it. Jason Momoa has just such, like, a surfer dude way to portray Aquaman. That's the best way I can describe it. But it really worked in this movie. I kind of like the whole story about him having to become the king of Atlantis and kind of taking it over after his brother's kind of more evil rule. And it's kind of a fun adventure movie at times. It's not too connected to the DCEU, but there are still a few references to it. This movie is strange, but it's got a weird, fun, adventure across the world plot with Aquaman. It's got a cool final battle, and even though it has weird things like sharks roaring, seahorses whinnying, I thought it had pretty good villains as well. I liked Black Manta and Ocean Master, and it's weird. I can't really describe this movie with anything other than good, cheesy fun. Now on to the top 2 movies I actually genuinely love. At number 2, we have Shazam. Now, this is a fun, sweet, heartfelt kind of family superhero film taking place at Christmas time about Billy Batson kind of becoming Shazam, learning to accept his new family. It's got a good villain in the form of that doctor in the 7 Deadly Sins. It has a fun final battle, and this is a movie that doesn't try to be too big, but it wears its heart on its sleeve, and it's just a lot of fun. Zachary Levi does a fantastic job as Shazam. He brings a lot of fun and energy to the role. It's like a fun comedy movie. It's just a blast to watch, and it's an entertaining superhero movie with great action and comedy and a good heart that I should probably watch around Christmas time more often. But coming in number 1, the best DCEU movie is Wonder Woman. It works as a great war movie, a great superhero movie. It just, it starts off really fun. I think the way they did Themyscira was really cool, and I like them kind of showing Wonder Woman's origin story. As I said before, twice before, Gal Gadot's really good as Wonder Woman. Patty Jenkins does a good job directing this movie. I like Chris Pine. Chris Pine's probably my favorite actor in both Wonder Woman movies. He's just really funny at times, but he also, is able to be very heroic and is good in some action scenes. And then I like the World War I tone. It's a little bit darker, but at least it's some cool action scenes and moments. And I like the kind of whole twist villain thing where, the main villain throughout the first 2 acts was kind of that poison lady. But then in the end it was revealed this was all like a big plot by Ares. So Wonder Woman was actually right the whole time. I thought that was a lot of fun, the way they did that. And overall, it's just a good superhero movie. I don't know what else to say besides that. It's got fun action scenes. Got a good heart. Diana and Steve have good chemistry together. They have a lot of fun moments. And yeah, what more can I say? This is definitely the best DC movie other than maybe classic Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy, and Joker. So Wonder Woman's a great movie. It's best the DCEU, a pretty good but not great movie series. But overall, I hope you liked the video. Get ready for my favorite movies of 2020 on the 31st of December, and on the first day of December, probably my most anticipated movies of 2021. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.